Hey, this is Harold. Today is Wednesday, February 11th, and in today's video, I'm just going to be talking about an update on the Lucid Eval I'm doing currently and the two trades that I took today. So, currently, just looking at the P&L for my Lucid Eval, we're up $2,236. Today, we had a total profit of 980, and our remaining balance is 764. So if we can just get one more, I'd say maybe one or two more trades, we can potentially pass this eval. And before I get into the trades, let me just walk you guys through the daily bias, or just the levels that I was looking at today coming into the trading day. So yesterday we had a pretty flat day, ending right above the weekly POC, not weekly POC, the weekly value area high. Just indicate that for you guys right here. And then pre-market still consolidating, and this huge candle here was actually news. So at 5:30 we had some red folder news release. That is what caused the move to the upside. Right. So the two levels I was looking at. The first level I was looking at was yesterday's highs combined with today's pre-market highs. So this red candle was the open. So before that, we also rejected at yesterday's highs. So for today, looking long, I was looking for a breakout above, targeting this blue line. So targeting 7,016, which is the monthly value area high. And then to the downside, I was looking for price to come all the way back down to at least the start of this level, right? The start of the strong buying that we saw off of news. Pretty much I wanted to see if the news was going to be backed up with volume, or if there was just the book was just so thin that the volatility was able to take it higher, and because it wasn't able to sustain, it ended up coming back lower, right? So this was the level at the bottom. So the top level was, what was the top level? Top level was 7,008. And the bottom level was 6,974, something like that. Okay, looking for a break to the downside here, targeting this weekly value area high. Okay, and just to know, I think looking at it now in hindsight, this long was gonna be a little bit difficult to take because we were already at 7,008, right? My target was 7,016. That's only an 8-point target, and to me, I'm usually risking around 6 to 8 points per trade, especially if the market is volatile. But a 1-to-1 just isn't the best idea, in my opinion, especially for an eval too, and especially because we're working with the initial trend, right? The initial trend is upwards. So knowing that, going into our first trade here, let me show you guys my trade Zella. The first trade that we took, we ended up profiting $396. The initial target was 700. It was going to be a 14-point trade, but we ended up only taking 8 points. And that's because I was trailing the stop and my stop got hit. So I'll show you guys that after. He has a realized R multiple of 1.13, planned R multiple 2R, which is not bad. Okay, so going into the first trade. Alright, for the first trade, I gotta show you two different time frames. The first time frame is gonna be the 5 minute. So this is the 5-minute chart, and this is the open. So from this yellow line to the right on forward is 6:30, and off the open you could tell that, and this white line is the 7008 level or 7006. But off the open you can tell that price attempted to break above the level. We had buyers get absorbed and aggressive sellers step in, right? Buyers absorbed, and then we have aggressive selling here. You can't really see, but yeah, aggressive sellers, buying absorption, and price closing below the level, right? So knowing that, we ended up getting aggressive sellers step into the market here. And I wanted to show you guys the 5-minute chart because for me, the first 5 minutes, I don't let myself trade. That's like a hard rule that I have for myself. So while I'm not letting myself trade, I like to look at the 5-minute because it gives me more context and a better idea of what's happening with the volume. Now switching over to the 2-minute, you can't really tell as well, right? You can see that the candle closed. The 2-minute is actually kind of deceiving in a way where this is perfectly like my breakout candle. And if this was in any other time zone, not the first 5 minutes, I probably would have taken the trade off of something like this, right? So, but because we were able to see what the 5-minute was doing, we knew that there was buying absorption and aggressive sellers, right? So again, that's the open. And today it's kind of hard to tell just by looking at this, but when you're watching the market live, there was a lot of aggressive selling taking place. But at the same time, there was a passive buyer holding up price very, very well. Like, the movement to the downside was very aggressive, but then it wasn't able to follow through. Aggressive, not able to follow through. Aggressive, not able to follow through. Like, you can even tell here by the delta, it's all negative, right? So you can just tell that there was a lot of aggressive selling. And eventually we were able to break through price down here at these levels at 6,989. We were finally able to break the low of day. But for me, the main thing I was looking at was 69.74. So all the way down here, right? Looking at all the way down here. And the reason for this, at least for me, is that I don't have like a mechanical model that I look at. Like I don't have like a specific like pattern that I look for in the market, like something like this. I don't know, some people trade this, right? And they'll trade like this sweep or something like that. I don't have a specific pattern that I trade. I mainly just look for the short-term trend. So what are we doing in the past 3 to 4 days? Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Or are we range bound, right? And based off that trend, I will decide my plan and how much RR I will take for the trade. So like I described before, in the past 5-6 days, we're in an uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend. So to me, taking a position short is, now we're going counter trend. And when I go counter trend, there's been a lot of times where I've been burnt and I go for these like bigger RR trades and I never hit them because there's no momentum to the downside. So today going in short, I said, okay, if I'm going to take a position short, which I don't really want to, I have to be able to see some aggression from the sellers and some type of momentum. I can't just enter short based off the first breakdown of price. And that's why I chose a lower price point, which was also in confluence with yesterday's previous, the value area low, right? So we did get some aggressive selling, but initially these offers, these auctions were just not able to finish. These auctions were not able to finish. We had sellers get absorbed here, right? But a green flag was that buyers got absorbed here, and then we saw an aggressive move to the downside. So we saw a move to the downside here. And this is actually where I took my trade. Took my trade right over here. At maybe a little bit lower. It was like 69.75, something like that. The reason I took the trade was because we had stacked imbalances form. We had a perfectly drawn out B shape, right? Showing that price and volume was willing to discover lower prices. And with that, we got a breakdown of 69.74. And our target was this green line, 69.61, which was the weekly value area high. And we ended up hitting the target. This was a 14 R trade, and you're wondering why I only made 300 something dollars. I only took 8 points off this trade, and it's because I got stopped out right here. I got stopped out like right over here. So what actually happened was price came all the way down to about 69.62. And for me, what I do, like the way I kind of trail my stop is, if my initial stop was here, I will bring my stop to break even. Oh wait, sorry, not here. If my initial stop was here, right? Sorry, I forgot that this was my entry candle. I will bring my stop to break even if price closes below the break even point, which for me today was 69.68 right here. So I said if price was able to break this level and hold, then I'm willing to bring my stop to break even and take my trade risk free. Right, so it did, it closed, it held break even. Now, why did I not hold this trade all the way through? We ended up hitting 69.62, and the moment we get around 1 to 2 points from my target, I like to trail very tight. So I brought my stop all the way up here, and I like to trail like very, very tight. Like I ended up coming to around here, 69.64, right? But I started to overthink it a little bit. I think psychologically it got the best of me just a little, and I ended up bringing it up to here, which was the initial high of this candle. Price bounced at like 62. It came all the way back up to my stop, stopped me out, and then it ended up finishing the run. I'm still trying to figure out if I want like different rules, because normally I'm taking like 1 to 3, 1 to 4 R trades. So I like trailing because I'll be up like 16, 17, 18 points, right? I'm not trying to give back profits, especially as a scalper. Like price moves fast, like I'm not trying to give back profits. And personally, I like being able to take profits and build a cushion for myself. In the end, this was the first trade of my day, right? And there was a lot of momentum to the downside, so I knew that, not I knew, but I knew that, I guess I knew that there was an opportunity to maybe take another trade. So target hit. Second trade that we will be looking at is right over here. It's gonna be today I won $584 with this trade. It was 11.75 points. I thought it was gonna be 12, but I guess I only took 11.75. Planned R multiple was 1.88. Realized R multiple 1.87. The full target hit here. I thought that this was a 1 to 2, but I guess that we didn't get the full 1 to 2 here. But yeah, the idea was very similar. We broke into this level right here. So the 69.61, the weekly value area high. Price showed that there was a lot of momentum to the downside and that we were willing to break back into this value area high that we were holding, right? We were holding just for the past 2 days. The price broke it, and on the break I was able to enter a little bit later. The confirmation was mainly these aggressors, right? So we got a strong break to the downside here. 18,000 volume, very, very good. 19,000 volume. And we just got absorbed, right? So there was 19,000 volume on this buy up, but buyers were not able to hold. They got absorbed. We see strong selling come in here. Next candle, we're not able to get above this candle, and then we see more buying absorption. Then we see aggressive selling to the downside. And for this trade as well, I got in right over here. Targeting, so this was 69.47. I was targeting 69.35s. Right over here. 69.35. My break-even point was the 69.40. And yeah, so we were able to close at break-even. So if my stop was at these highs, price came down, break-even hit, move my stop to break-even. Eventually on the next candle, my target hit right here, right? And this one I didn't trail. So maybe I am contradicting myself. This one I didn't trail. But it's because I built a cushion for myself on the day. I was up 400 on the day. Usually, or in the past couple days on these evals, I've been risking 400 per trade. So I told myself, okay, if I do get into this trade, I can risk my profits for the day. And that's about it, right? If I lose this trade, then I'll probably end break even on the day. So I ended up taking break even. I was like, okay, I'm already break even. I'm risk free. The worst thing that can happen is I get stopped out and I still get to take home $400, right? I'm already up, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna trail this. There's momentum to the downside. We just saw what happened on the break. And something I learned on this break was that after I entered here, we saw strong buy volume come in. 12,000, 14,000, 18,000, right? Again, here, breakout, and then we saw even more strong volume come in, 18,000. So I was like, there has to be some type of momentum coming in. And the target was this weekly POC right here. The green, the yellow line that's in the green. That was the target. So I was like, I don't think it hurts to hold this trade. And if it's really just like wandering down here, I can always move my stop up slowly and take home some profits. So yeah, those were the two trays that I took today. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.